On a hot August day in 1899, Ball State University opened its doors as Eastern Indiana Normal University. There were just 250 students who entered the only building on the campus that rested on 10 farm-filled acres. The students were eager and excited to be enrolled in such a fine college, and they finished their studies by attending a small ceremony where they were given certificates signifying that they had successfully completed their education and that they had indeed graduated from college. A lot has changed in 111 years. Today there are more than 20,000 students filling more than 70 buildings spread over more than 1,000 acres. But the one thing that hasn't changed is holding the ceremony that signifies success. It's a tradition that continues today as we celebrate the 158th commencement ceremony at Ball State University. Hi everyone, I'm Ahrendts and welcome to the Old Quad. To say it's windy out here and cold is an understatement. The weather gods have not been too good to us, but it's not raining, and so commencement for 2009-2010 is underway. We're so glad you could be here. We've got a great program for you, a lot of wonderful things. Over 2,600 undergraduate, master's degrees, and PhDs, doctoral degrees will be awarded today. There will be 6 students who will be honored for having a 4.0 GPA, and 6 students, cadets in the Army ROTC, will be commissioned second lieutenants today. It is a great day here for the 158th commencement at Ball State University. We are delighted you could be with us. And as we see, the students are marching in. The processional is being played by the ceremonial band, created exclusively for commencement. It's made up of top performers from the university's symphonic band and the wind ensemble. They rehearse for just a couple of days before they do this ceremony. College of Science and Humanities is entering the quad right now. Lots of wonderful things happening in that college. The Department of Chemistry's longtime summer research program is a model for other universities and a major partner in the Inter-University Center of Authentic Science Practice and Education. I defy you to say that quickly twice in a row. It's quite a large college, the largest college of the university with 21 different departments. You know, technology changes, but even the latest modes of communication reaffirm that words remain invaluable, and that those who think critically and write with clarity, purpose, and skill are best equipped for success in our increasingly complex society. That's part of the basis for the Department of English Studies. Just ask Erin Locke. She is a senior English Studies major. With a Fulbright scholarship in tow, Erin is very excited about her future.
The goal of the Fulbright scholarship or program is for basically to make connections with other countries, and that way, you know, when I go over to Germany, I can bring things back from the German culture to the U.S. and tell people about it. And that way, too, they can take part, you know, what I have brought as an American over to them. So basically just making international connections.
Well, Erin's a classic example of some of the 2,600 students who will be graduating today. As I said at the beginning, it's a chilly day out here in central Indiana. Wow, the wind's about 30 to 40 mile-an-hour gusts. But the rain has moved on, and we are blessed for that. So we'll, as all the things go unfold today during commencement, 2,600 degrees. Army ROTC students will be commissioned second lieutenants, and 5 students will be graduating with perfect 4.0 GPAs. College of Communication, Information, and Media is entering. You know, that's made up of the Departments of Telecommunication, Department of Journalism, Communication Studies. Telecommunication students and faculty have won, believe this, 24 Emmys since 2000, along with 80 regional Emmy nominations. And a short film, Perspective, created by 2 telecommunications students, received the Best of Festival Award back in 2007. Throw in a couple of Student Academy Awards, and the telecommunications department is really doing some wonderful things. Students gain leading edge experience working in today's converging communications field through a program called NewsLink Indiana. Now that's a project integrating television, online news, products, radio, and newspaper. And new this year has been the addition of a sports immersion program that we call SportsLink. Senior Mike Stevens says that this program has grown beyond expectations.
This year at Ball State, I've worked on a program called Ball State SportsLink. It's an immersive learning production within the telecommunications department. And what we do is we shoot and edit packages and stories about athletes, and we also go out and we do live remotes for Ball State athletic events. And the great thing about what we do as a program is that our content is seen worldwide. Online, it's also seen, statewide in Indiana. We send our content to Indianapolis, Terre Haute, Fort Wayne, South Bend. So a lot of outlets utilize SportsLink as a gateway to Ball State athletics. And this program, especially this year, has just developed into being a monster for sports media.
Mike is a classic example of great students in the TCOM department. Also in the journalism department, the journalism program was ranked among the top 45 in the country by Editor and Publisher magazine. The Ball State Daily News continues its winning tradition in 2008 and 9, and I'm sure this year as well. It was named the nation's best collegiate newspaper by the Columbia Scholastic Press Association. That is the 9th consecutive year that distinction has come to the Ball State Daily News. Over in the advertising sequence, many national awards, as well as our public relations sequence in the College of Communication, Information, and Media. And in the Department of Communication Studies, in 2010, our debate team won its 4th national championship. That's really quite something. In 2010, this year, also was the 3rd consecutive year the team won the tournament outright. Plus this year, a Ball State debater was the first undergraduate student in the country to receive the President's Award, an honor typically given to coaches of debate teams. Communication Studies major Carly Weidman says her studies have prepared her well for what's ahead by giving her the opportunity to participate in an extensive immersive learning project.
For the St. Gobain project, we're working with a local Muncie company, St. Gobain, and they want to improve their recycling in the state of Indiana to help their company improve the amount of recycling they use in their bottles. So what our role is to help them create a lobbying plan so they can implement proper legislation in the state of Indiana to increase the amount of recycling and the amount of glass bottles that are recycled in Indiana. We talked to state legislators in the Senate and in the House. We talked to a bunch of different recycling corporations on how it would impact them and the suggestions that they had. And we've just done a bunch of different research on all the different aspects of people that would be affected by a recycling bill in Indiana to try and find the best fit for our state. Some of the skills that I've learned while I'm at Ball State, specifically in this project, is I've learned a lot about working with groups and working with different types of people. In a group dynamic's a little bit different. You have to learn with conflict management and dealing with different people's schedules and making sure everybody's on top of things. And I think that's something that no matter what you do, you're going to need to use, because in the real world, you're going to have to be working with different groups of people. So I think that just from working in a group project, I've just learned a lot of different things that can help me in the future no matter what I end up doing.
The Miller College of Business is one of our 7 colleges, is accredited by AACSB. Now that's the Association to Advance Collegiate Schools of Business. And Ball State was the first state-supported institution in Indiana to hold separate AACSB accreditation for their accounting program. Part of the College of Business, not only accounting, but their outstanding nationally ranked entrepreneurship program, insurance and risk management program, information systems, and finance. Our finance program was ranked 11th nationally for quality teaching in an independent study published in the spring of 2006. the issue of advances in financial education. Senior Michael Parent knows all too well how outstanding that program is. He says it's based on an interdisciplinary approach.
Some of the skills I learned here at Ball State is, most importantly, how to interact with professionals. Because with this program, the Building Better Communities program, you don't work with just your major. And some of the other people that are in the same major as I have only interacted with finance people, and they really don't know how to interact with other majors, people that are different than them, say filming or the music industry or the art industry. And when you go into this program, you're thrown into a group of 5 or 6 other people that you've never seen before, that sometimes you've never even been in the building they go to every day. So you interact with them and they interact with you differently, and you learn how the business world works. Because it's not just you interacting with people that you know in your industry, in the real world, like it is in the classroom.
Today we are presenting 2 very special degrees, an honorary doctoral degree and the President's Medal of Distinction. Angela Ahrendts is receiving her honorary doctorate degree. She was raised in New Palestine, Indiana. She graduated from Ball State with a bachelor's degree in 1993 and relocated to New York City. She decided the fashion industry was for her, and she advanced through a number of significant roles in the fashion industry, including executive vice president with Henry Bendel. She became president of Donna Karan International, executive vice president of Liz Claiborne, and she currently is president and CEO of Burberry and is living in London, England. And we're so delighted that Angela could be back with us today. She will be receiving her honorary degree and will be giving our commencement address. John Schumann is receiving the President's Medal of Distinction. He's a former standout defensive tackle for the Ball State football team. He graduated from Ball State back in 1971 with a degree in accounting. He later co-founded Crossman Communities, a regional home builder based in Indianapolis that once earned a spot among Forbes magazine's 200 best small companies in America. Schumann served as the company's chairman and chief executive officer for many years before its merger with Baser Homes USA. He continues to be involved in that, and we are delighted to have John back. If his name sounds familiar and you're a football fan, you know that he and his wife made a significant financial contribution to the university, and the Ball State Stadium was named on their behalf, Schumann Stadium. Well, the ceremonial band has stopped playing as the undergraduates have made their way in. I should tell you that this is not the only ceremony our graduates will be attending today. Immediately following this main ceremony, each of the 7 colleges will hold individual ceremonies at various locations around campus. They'll be all indoors, so they'll be warm and happy. It is a time that each graduate will receive their individual diploma during their individual college graduation. That music signifies the entering of dignitaries. The mace is being carried into the ceremony. The platform party is arriving. You know, along with every commencement ceremony comes academic attire. As you notice, many individuals are robed in a variety of different colors. It's not a random choice by any means. It has a long and significant history that dates back really to the 12th century. But it wasn't until 1754 that what we call academic costume came to America with the founding of King's College, now Columbia University. Styles became so varied that it led to a uniform system that they finally put together in 1902. And it's called the Intercollegiate Code of Academic Costume. So it is not a random thing. The Army ROTC cadets are placing the American flag and the flag of Indiana on top of the platform. And we believe that those will not stay throughout the entire ceremony, nor will the individual college banners stay. We will see. The wind is so very strong. But they seem to be anchored appropriately, so we'll hope that that can work out. The platform party now ascending the steps, including the presidents, university officers, members of the Board of Trustees, and of course our honored guests, Angela Ahrendts and John Schumann. As we said at the outset, this is the 158th commencement ceremony. Of course, the university is not 158 years old. There are 3 graduation ceremonies held each year. This is the largest one, the May commencement ceremony. Well over 15,000 people gather here on the Arts Terrace to observe and watch and salute their family members as they receive their degrees. There is another ceremony in the winter, in December, and there shortly would be one coming up later this summer, as there is a summer commencement held, so 3 different ceremonies held. Vice President for Academic Affairs Terry King is at the podium now, and he will be presiding over our 158th commencement ceremony.
Welcome to the 158th commencement of Ball State University. I am Terry King, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs. Please remain standing as Mr. Jerry Richard Pullman, a Master of Music candidate in the School of Music, sings the national anthem.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Would you please be seated? Members of the faculty, graduates, parents, and friends, this is a most happy day, and we are glad to have all of you here to share in this important occasion. It is a very special time for you who are graduating and for your families and friends, and we offer our warmest congratulations. I am now pleased to introduce the platform party, the Board of Trustees, the administration, and those participating in today's ceremony. Would you please hold your applause until all introductions are completed? I'll ask the platform party to stand as I call your name. Dr. Ben Hancock, Vice President for University Advancement. Mr. Doug Reddington, President of the Alumni Council. Mr. Matt Mopper, Trustee. Ms. Marianne Glick, Trustee. Mr. Thomas Taylor, Vice President for Enrollment, Marketing, and Communications. Mrs. Barbara Phillips, Trustee. Dr. Frank Sabatine, Associate Vice President for Economic Development and Community Engagement. Dr. Kay Bales, Vice President for Student Affairs and Dean of Students. Mr. Frank Hancock, Trustee. Dr. Kenneth Holland, Dean of the Rinker Center for International Programs. Dr. Marilyn Buck, Associate Provost and Dean of University College. Dr. Brian Smith, Associate Dean of the Miller College of Business, Professor of Management, and Chairperson of University Senate. Mr. Philip Repp, Vice President for Information Technology. Dr. Anthony Edmonds, Distinguished Professor, Department of History, who is carrying the University Mace. Lieutenant Colonel Gerald Hadley, Chairperson of the Department of Military Science. Mr. Jerry Richard Pullman, our vocalist. Mr. John Schumann, President's Medal of Distinction recipient. Ms. Angela Ahrendts, honorary degree recipient and commencement speaker. Dr. Joanne Gora, President. Mr. Thomas DeWeese, President of the Board of Trustees. Mr. Hollis Hughes, Secretary of the Board of Trustees. Mr. Rick Hall, Assistant Secretary of the Board of Trustees. Dr. Robert Morris, Associate Provost for Research and Dean of the Graduate School. And Dr. James Rubel, Dean of Honors College. Please recognize these individuals. Thank you. You may be seated. At this time, I would also like to introduce the college deans and their associates who are seated with the graduates from their colleges. Please stand to be recognized when I call your name. Dean Mitchell Whaley, College of Applied Sciences and Technology, and Associate Dean Jack Westcott. Dean Guillermo Vasquez de Velasco, College of Architecture and Planning, and Associate Dean Michelle Munyar. Dean Rajiv Sanyal, Miller College of Business. Dean Roger Lavery, College of Communication, Information, and Media, and Associate Dean Lori Byers. Dean Robert Kavam, College of Fine Arts, and Associate Dean Michael O'Hara. Dean Michael Maggiato, College of Sciences and Humanities, and Associate Deans Jeff Grigsby, Susan Johnson, and Kesha McBride. Dean John Jacobson, Teachers College, and Associate Dean Lori Mullen. And Dr. Jacqueline Nelson, Associate Dean of the Graduate School. Today our interpreters are Sandra Gooding and Laura Shadone. Please join me in recognizing these individuals. Now I am pleased to present President Joanne Gora.
Ball State University's President's Medal of Distinction is presented to recognize individuals who have made significant and unselfish contributions to the advancement of the university, the community, the state, or the nation. Today, it is my pleasure to award this medal to John Schumann in recognition of his dedication and service. I ask Mr. Schumann to please join me at the podium and for Mr. DeWeese to assist in presenting this honor. John B. Schumann, you are a noted business leader who co-founded Crossman Communities, an Indianapolis-based home builder that earned a listing in the 200 best small companies in America, according to Forbes magazine. After serving for many years as Crossman's chairman and chief executive officer, you have been involved in several real estate ventures, most recently as chairman and chief executive officer of Tempest Homes, LLC. A native of Lafayette, Indiana, you earned your accounting degree from Ball State in 1971, where you also starred as a defensive tackle on the Cardinals football team. Along with your wife, June, you long have been a major supporter of your alma mater, providing gifts for both academic and athletic programs. You have made several contributions to the university's residential property management program. Schumann Stadium, the home of the football Cardinals, is named for you and June in recognition of your lead gift in the Drive to Distinction campaign. You support young people in many ways through the Schumann Foundation, established in 2002. It provides grants to secondary schools, YMCAs, and YWCAs, and to other organizations on education, recreation, and social development opportunities for Indiana's youth. You also serve your community as a member of the Board of Directors of the Lafayette Parks Foundation and the Investment Board of Family Services, Incorporated. Using your many years of experience as a home builder, you are active in Habitat for Humanity. Your professional and community leadership has resulted in numerous awards, including the Ball State University Distinguished Alumni Award in 1998 and the Miller College of Business Alumni Award of Distinction in 2001. In awarding you the President's Medal of Distinction, Ball State recognizes your professional leadership as well as your generous support of your alma mater and your community, which benefits us all. It is my honor to bestow upon John B. Schumann the President's Medal of Distinction. Thank you, John.
Thank you, Joanne. It's been exactly 39 years since I sat in the seats you young folks are sitting in here today, and I had a great experience here at Ball State, as I'm sure each and every one of you have had. And I've always said that my accounting degree from Ball State was the foundation for my success in the home building industry. We grew our business from a startup company to become the 11th largest home builder in the United States, growing to a total volume of 6,000 homes in our last year of business in 2001 before we sold the company. After the sale of Crossman, it gave us time to reflect and think about how we would share our good fortune with others. And in addition to Ball State, we had many requests, but we wanted to make sure we were able to make a real difference. And one of the recipients of our good fortune was a YMCA camp called Camp Tecumseh, which is up just north of Lafayette on the Tippecanoe River. And the thing that we like so much about this camp is their motto. The motto of this camp is, "I am third." God is first, others are second, and I am third. This camp was turning away 1,000 to 1,500 children every year on waiting lists, so they needed a new dining hall, and they no longer have to turn these children away. There are now thousands of kids going to this camp every summer, and makes you feel pretty good that you're able to help out these children and give them an experience learning about how to share and give with others, and to know that you're really third in life, that everybody else counts a lot more than you do. So I would just say to all of you, as you go on to your future successes in your chosen fields, to remember the importance of giving back to your alma mater, your communities, not just financially, but also to give of your time and talents. Thank you, and good luck to all of you.
We will now proceed with the conferral of the honorary degree. I ask Mr. DeWeese, Mr. Hughes, Provost King, and Dr. Morris to assist.
Angela Ahrendts, would you please present yourself for the awarding of the honorary degree?
Angela Ahrendts, you are one of Ball State University's most successful alumni and one of Indiana's most prominent daughters. Originally from New Palestine, Indiana, you are now a citizen of the world With a degree in fashion merchandising, you have moved quickly through the executive ranks in fashion merchandising. You have held executive leadership positions at Henri Bendel and Donna Karan International. In 1998, you joined the executive team of Liz Claiborne Incorporated, which directed the successful diversification and expansion of the company. As executive vice president, you led a number of new product and category launches and were responsible for a series of international growth and innovative supply chain initiatives. You joined Burberry in January 2006 and became CEO on July 1, 2006. There, you have led the continued growth and reinvigoration of this iconic British brand and $5 billion global company. At Burberry, you have also been a pioneer in the creative application of digital and social media, proving to be an innovator in a rapidly changing world. In 2008, alongside Burberry creative director Christopher Bailey, you created the Burberry Foundation that is committed to helping young people around the world realize their dreams and achieve their goals through the power of their own creativity. You have been named to Forbes 100 Most Powerful Women in 2006, 2007, and 2009. And you have also made Fortune magazine's International Power 50 twice. Despite your busy schedule, you have repeatedly and graciously met with Ball State faculty and students during their travels in New York and London. That dialogue continued in advance of this ceremony as you participated in a video conference with a group of seniors and exchanged thoughts via Twitter. Your professional success story, especially as an alumna, is compelling and inspirational for our students, faculty, and staff. By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Ball State University, I hereby confer upon you, Angela Ahrendts, the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, with the rights and privileges thereunto pertaining, and award you this diploma in testimony thereof, and present you the academic hood for this degree.
Good morning, and thank you so much for inviting me back to Ball State University to celebrate with you today. Thank you, President Gora. Dr. Whitaker, who many of you may not know is retiring today after 34 years. And thank you, faculty, staff, student, family, and friends. I can honestly say that speaking with you today is one of the greatest honors of my life. It's been nearly 30 years since I last studied here. And yes, for those of you quickly doing the math, that means I'll celebrate my 50th birthday next month. 50, or as my teenage son likes to say, half a century now. So thank you so much for providing the stimulus to truly stop, reflect, and take account of the great lessons of my blessed life so far. This speech writing journey is the best 50th birthday gift I could have been given. And entitled From the Heart, it's my gift to you today. On our web chat a couple of weeks ago, it brought back some really great memories. One of you reminded me of my college job at the Muncie Mall. And it's funny because one day you're studying and selling albums at Musicland, and the next thing you know, 30 years have passed, and you receive a beautiful letter from your university president asking you to summarize your life's journey in 3 simple thoughts for 14,000 people in 20 minutes. Well, it's been quite a journey, and not just the last 3 decades, but the last few months since I agreed to speak. And after thinking about it, I thought maybe our lives have been in parallel this final semester. I've been dreaming, thinking, praying about what I could possibly say that would resonate with you today. touch you, and perhaps make a difference in the next 3 decades of your life. And I imagine that your last few months have not been dissimilar as you finish exams, term papers, job search, and dream of your future. It's a little bit unsettling, huh? This process has been somewhat like writing my final term paper. And ironically, I felt like the student, and you're now the grading professor. So take it easy on me. Let's think of it more like American Idol. I've already won. I'm just back to entertain and inspire you today. So this speech writing journey, it forced me to stop and reflect in a way that I haven't done in years. Was there a professional story that I could recall that would help broaden your perspective? Was there a compelling strategic secret that I could share that might jumpstart your path to success? What message would be the most relevant as this recession recedes and this digital age accelerates? I've not taken my assignment lightly, and thinking about this question has required so much time, so I will apologize up front to my husband and 3 children, as this process took too many precious weekends away from them, but their sacrifice did allow a great personal discovery. I realized that the most important component of my life that has guided every aspect of my professional career has been my Midwestern core values. Do you realize that you may already possess the foundation of your success? You might have the answer to the most important test question in life. Wouldn't it be great if you could answer it now and take advantage of it versus midlife? The game-changing question is, do you truly know your core purpose, your fundamental reason for existence, and can you clearly articulate your core values, your guiding principles? I absolutely love the way that management guru Jim Collins phrases it for business. He says, a core purpose is your reason for being. It captures your soul with the primary role to guide and inspire. And you cannot fulfill a core purpose. It's like a guiding star on the horizon, forever pursued, but never reached. Walt Disney's core purpose is simple, to make people happy. Burberry's core purpose is a little more expansive, to protect, explore, and inspire. What's your core purpose in life? Your life book profile, if you will. And your core values are the soulmate of your core purpose. They're your purest beliefs, your conscience, your convictions that rarely change throughout your life, because we live by what we believe, not by what we see. And identifying your core values early in life will help provide great clarity into the type of organization you want to work for, the type of people you want to be with, and the type of leader you aspire to be. So let's look at it from a less theoretical perspective, if you will. If you think your college years have flown by, just wait until someone's actually paying you to do what you love. I enjoy meeting with students as they visited over the years in New York and now London, and interviewing recent graduates as they tell me all they've done during their university years and how hard they've worked. I remind them that they were actually paying the university to work that hard, and I ask them if our company employs them, will they continue to work that hard for us? I also remind them that their great education is what got them the interview, but it's who they truly are that will get them the job. Getting to understand a person's true values and character, sometimes in less than an hour, is a critical part of making sure a candidate is culturally compatible. Funny, when I think of my core values, I can't help but think of my parents. My father, who in my mind is one of this generation's greatest philosophers, used to constantly remind me that you can teach people anything, but you can't teach them to care. Caring or compassion is a value. And growing up, I was always told to put myself in the other person's shoes, to be aware and sensitive of my impact on others, recognizing it's often not what you say, but how you say it. And with Mother's Day tomorrow, it's only fitting to acknowledge what a powerful force my mother has been in my life. Whenever I would ask her if something were okay or fine, she would consistently reply, "I didn't raise you to be fine." I'm sure that Jim Collins was inspired by my mom when in his book, Good to Great, he says, good is the enemy of great. and that few people attain great lives in large part because it's so easy to settle for a good life. Being the best I could be was a core value she instilled in me from a very young age, along with my faith. She would conveniently remind me, usually at my laziest, that God helps those who help themselves, and consistently remind me, usually at my lowest, that I was never alone. Another core value, humility. My dad would always say, when you look at a photo, do you see yourself last? And then would remind me of a line from Rudyard Kipling's famous poem, If, or walk with kings, nor lose the common touch. And funny, because I always thought that was so unrealistic and improbable, but about 6 months ago, I was honored to sit next to Prince Charles, the future King of England, during a formal dinner at Buckingham Palace. And after talking with him throughout the evening, and then returning to my daily work routine the next morning, this lesson became very real. So with the focus on your left brain or your education the last few years, you may not have given much thought to your right brain core values. But in this rapidly changing world, they are your emotional DNA and should permeate anything anyone sees from you off or online. And once confirmed, they offer confidence and peace, and their significance and influence should never be underestimated or compromised in this virtual society. The fact that the identical core values, which were developed many years prior to actually being out on my own at Ball State, are still the guiding force in my life today was an epiphany. And it only took me 20 years of youth, 30 years of experience, and 5 months of reflecting to discover this for you today. This could be your most important, most marketable asset, your differentiator in this digital age. And if you can clearly articulate the answer to this question early in your life, it could be your best shortcut to success. But while core values are your foundation, there's a lot of other emotional facets, such as dreams and passion, fear and insecurity, underpinned by heart and faith that provide additional guidance and inspiration as your career commences. This speech writing journey also serves to highlight a few of these emotional drivers. Again, take when I received President Gore's letter asking me to speak. After recovering from the initial shock, I am not David Letterman, I quickly fell into what I call the dream phase. Megan, if you're still with me, this section will hopefully answer your web chat question. The dream phase is that wow moment that lets your imagination see everything so positively. It's a state of euphoria, cloud nine, that infatuation stage of a new relationship. You know the feeling. This dream state is a little surreal. You're not thinking or purely feeling. Both are fused, creating an energy that just fuels your imagination. Dreams are your most exciting thoughts, your future life in 3D. And by envisioning in your mind, you are creating your life roadmap. Whatever we focus on, we become. At Burberry, for example, our catwalk shows our Chief Creative Officer, Christopher Bailey's seasonal dreams. They inspire both art and commerce and help us beyond our self-imposed boundaries. These shows also demonstrate for dreams to become reality, they must be backed by passion and persistence, be channeled and largely immune to external opinions and obstacles. As author Napoleon Hill says nearly 100 years ago, this changed world requires practical dreamers who can and will put their dreams into action. But the dream phase is often interrupted by the occasional nightmare, that insecure state when you're conveniently reminded of everything you don't know, exposing with brutal clarity the full reality of the situation. Again, take this speech. Why did the letter have to say live to 14,000 people? And that it's only the university's greatest tradition and only the most important day of your life. Well, I've learned over the years that just as the dream phase is critical, the intermittent nightmare is perfectly normal. Hill also stated that if you take inventory of mental assets and liability, you will discover that our greatest weakness is lack of self-confidence. The subconscious mind will translate into reality a thought driven by fear just as readily as it will translate into reality a thought driven by courage or faith. It's how well you manage your fear that will determine the outcome of your dream. You know, it's funny because in this insecure state, I become a curious student again. So what to do with this commencement speech? Of course, I turned to Google and spent the next few weeks reading everyone's, from Oprah Winfrey's to Steve Jobs, politicians, academics, artists. I also read the experts' advice, what's appropriate, what's not, how to organize, how long, who to thank, and the fact that the majority of you will not remember most of what I've said once the recessional begins. You see, fear is simply a state of mind that managed proactively makes you so much more aware and in time more astute to the subtle shifts going on around you. Fear of failure has been a consistent motivator in my life and helped me stay passionate, objective, and focused on achieving the desired result. So having confused yourself with the facts, you pass the nightmare phase. Your mind is sufficiently sharp, your confidence is back, and you begin to systematically think through the solutions. Well, with the rational options in front of me, my mind at peace, I've learned at this stage to turn off my head and turn on my heart. You see, if your dreams are your roadmap, your heart is your true guide. The intuitive feeling heart, if listened to, will never mislead you in work, a relationship, or with family. And in this digital age, we are seemingly hardwired to overthink our way through life and almost instinctively to look outside for heartfelt answers instead of within ourselves. We are bombarded with information 24/7 and spend too much time responding to others rather than listening inward. Technology has given us access to the world and its sea of content, allowing us to never speak to another person if we don't want to. Computers and smart devices are among the greatest intellectual gifts ever created for man, but if not balanced with human contact, may offer little to develop one's heart. Don't get me wrong, I am mesmerized by this digital tsunami, but Google doesn't have all the answers, and are all those people on Facebook truly your friends? With Twitter and texting, you can share sound bites as I've done with you the last few weeks, but they offer no substitute for real human interaction, which is why we initiated the web chat. In my many years of traveling around this amazing planet, I have found that the heart is the one global language we all instinctively possess, allowing us to communicate across generations and cultures, and at times only with our eyes, a simple gesture or a touch. So with the world at your fingertips, have you learned to listen to your heart, your intuition, your instincts? Have you learned to feel what others feel before you say a word? Do you understand the lasting impact of a smile or a simple thank you? Do you truly do unto others as you would have them do unto you? Your heart is a guiding force. Teach yourself to listen to it, to nurture it, and let it guide you as you start the next exciting chapter of your life. Reflecting vividly brought back my early chapters and was a catalyst to the realization that core values were the consistent theme in my career. As Joanna mentioned, I grew up about an hour from here in a small town, New Palestine, Indiana, where I lived vicariously through fashion magazines. My dream at an early age was to be in the fashion industry, and I dreamed night and day and night, so much so that my father would tell me to take off my rose-colored glasses. I was dreaming, then began praying, and soon began believing that I could make it. But how? My belief was encouraged by small things, coincidences, signs all around me. And the first was in the form of a little black book called As a Man Thinketh. It fell into my teen lap, and to this day I have absolutely no idea why I began reading it. But it taught me early on the power of positive thinking and of open-mindedness, and that inner thoughts you choose and encourage weave both your inner character and your outer circumstances. Then larger signs appeared, like the one I ran into early on at a campus visit with my older, smarter sister who had chosen to go to Ball State. They described upcoming merchandising and marketing programs. As a student the following year, I don't believe it was a coincidence that I attended the summer fashion program in New York, where for the first time I had a behind-the-scenes view of the things I had been dreaming about all those years. This trip was a fundamental turning point in my life. My roadmap was now clear, and there was no looking back. And after 3.5 fast and fulfilling years in 1981, I left college for New York City, or as Alicia King so brilliantly sings, the concrete jungle where dreams are made of. Classes ended and I flew out the next day with nothing but my core values, my dream, my heart, my faith, combined with a great education. And I was scared, trust me. But I knew I wasn't alone, and I kept repeating to myself, I will not live my life saying, I wish I would have. At the airport that day, my dad was trying desperately not to cry, and my mom just kept asking when I'd be coming home. And finally, as I was boarding the plane, I turned and blurted out my lifelong dream. I said, after I become the president of Donna Karan, I'll be home. So, of course, as realistic moms do, she prepared for a long absence. About 10 years later, I was sitting in my new office on 7th Avenue when the phone rang. Who else but Mom? She said, congratulations, you're now the president of Donna Karan. When are you coming home? That's when I realized that dreams have absolutely no boundaries if you learn to read the signs of life. A more recent story begins 4 years ago when Christopher Bailey, then head designer at Burberry, and I sat in New York sharing our thoughts of what we would do if I'd moved to London to be the CEO of Burberry. My years have taught me that ensuring alignment of our core values was a key step prior to confirmation. We talked about creating a great company, the kind of company we both always dreamed of working for. We chatted about creating the greatest democratic luxury brand in the world. We envision a company culture with soul and the ability to communicate that to consumers and employees alike through innovative strategies. We dreamed of establishing the Burberry Foundation so that we could help less fortunate young people realize their creative dreams. Our first Christmas card, we proudly printed the famous phrase attributed to Winston Churchill, "You make a living by what you get. You make a life by what you give." Burberry's annual report describes the key business strategies underlying the company's strong financial results during the first 2.5 years. But the deeper secret to the early success was that 6,000 associates worldwide were now dreaming the same dream, sharing the same values. But then again, as life would have it, in 2008, the world was rocked by this extensive economic disruption. This could have deeply shaken our team, our company. But with our core values as the foundation, our dreams so clear, our hearts so connected, it was not a coincidence that Burberry recovered quickly and more united than before the crisis. So I know I've made it sound easy. If you dream it, it will come. But I've learned much too often in London that there's sunshine and there's rain, and without the dark clouds, you don't truly appreciate the bright, beautiful days. Every graduating class is confronted with its individual tests. In my case, when I left Ball State in 1981, at the start of the worst post-war recession on record prior to this one. And this was also an era in which women contended for equal status in a male-dominated workforce. You face difficult environments and the onset of a digital revolution with all of its advantages and challenges. But remember, individual opportunities are always present if you have a dream. Truly know yourself and focus on the things that you control. Back to Kipling's famous poem, "If you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same." So in writing this speech, I've looked backwards to guide you forward. Today you've heard a little of my personal journey along with the wisdom of poets, philosophers, proselytizers, my parents. Many of them wrote early in the last century, not you, Dad. And I find their perspective insightful and invaluable and often missing from today's headlines. As you leave the comforts of campus and you enter the real world, learn to share your values, your dreams, and your heart with others. College is an individual endeavor where the broader world is a team sport. And the more honest and open you are about yourself, the more you will stand out and the faster you will connect and cut through the competitive clutter. School has sharpened your IQ and rewarded you with a degree today. Life will require you to master your EQ, which will reward you with success in its many expressions. So thank you so much again for the opportunity to speak today. As a commencement speech was never in my wildest dreams, I have been diligently working alongside you this final semester. Our web chat, your tweets, the focus on today's message has helped get me more in tune. Encouraging you has inspired me at this stage of my life's journey and resulted in the greatest 50th birthday gift I could ever receive. In turn, this speech entitled "From the Heart" is my gift to celebrate your amazing achievement, and I humbly hope that it inspires you to dream even larger. This is your life's roadmap. Conquer your greatest fears because they're simply a state of mind. And listen with an amplifier to your heart and faith, as these are your greatest guides. And never forget your core values. They could just be your greatest asset, along with your brilliant Ball State education. So congratulations, graduates. You are now global citizens. And remember, the universal language is not text, emailed, or spoken. It's felt. Good luck as you continue life's amazing adventure, and I look so forward to reading your commencement speech someday. Thank you.
Provost King, we are now ready to proceed with the awarding of degrees.
We will proceed with the hooding of doctoral candidates. Will the candidates for all doctoral degrees please rise? President Gora, as Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, I present to you those candidates who have completed all the requirements for the following advanced degrees: Doctor of Audiology, Doctor of Education, and Doctor of Philosophy.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Ball State University, I confer upon you your respective doctoral degrees with all the rights, honors, privileges, and obligations thereunto pertaining. The diploma of the university shall forever be the testimony recognizing the very high level of intellectual accomplishment that you have attained. I welcome you into the ancient and honorable company of scholars. Congratulations on your special accomplishments.
The candidates for the doctoral degrees will now proceed to the platform to cross as their names are called by Dr. Morris and be invested with symbols of their degrees. Dr. Jacqueline Nelson, Associate Dean of the Graduate School and Adjunct Professor of History, will lead the doctoral candidates to the platform.
Amanda Nicole Krishan. Assisting in the hooding will be Dr. Thomas Haymeyer, Professor of Audiology, Department of Speech Pathology and Audiology. Michelle K. Harker. Assisting with the hooding will be Dr. David Coffin, Assistant Professor of Audiology, Department of Speech Pathology and Audiology. Blair Scott Matern. Assisting in the hooding will be Dr. Lauren Schaefer, Associate Professor of Audiology, Department of Speech Pathology and Audiology. Susan Jewel Burson. Assisting in the hooding will be Dr. Patricia Clark, Associate Professor, Elementary Education. Dixie Dugan. Assisting with the hooding will be Dr. Michelle Gluwaki Duca, Assistant Professor, Educational Studies. David Mei-Shing Hua. Assisting with the hooding will be Dr. Michelle Gluwaki Duca, Assistant Professor, Educational Studies. Gina Sherry Ann Edgel. Assisting with the hooding will be Dr. Thalia Mulvihill, Professor, Educational Studies. Marlene V. Pogreskamp. Assisting in the hooding will be Dr. Thalia Mulvihill, Professor, Educational Studies. James Eric Johnson. Assisting in the hooding will be Dr. Joseph Armstrong, Assistant Professor, Educational Studies. Diana H. Romito. Assisting with the hooding will be Dr. William Sharp, Professor, Department of Educational Leadership. Vicki Lynn Eastman. Assisting in the hooding will be Dr. Lynn Staley, Professor, Elementary Education. Harold Loisman. Assistant in hooding will be Dr. Patrick Collier, Associate Professor, English. Andrea Powell-Wolf. Assistant in the hooding will be Dr. Deborah Mix, Associate Professor, English. Claire Elizabeth Luckwitty. Assisting with the hooding will be Dr. Paul Ranieri, Associate Professor, English. Thank you. Amanda Lynn Williams. Assisting in the hooding will be Dr. Donald R. Nicholas, Professor, Department of Counseling, Psychology, and Guidance Services.
Will the candidate for the degree of Specialist in Education please rise? As Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, I present to you the candidate who has completed all the requirements for the degree of Specialist in Education.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Ball State University, I confer upon you your Specialist in Education degree, with all the rights, honors, privileges, and obligations thereunto pertaining. The diploma of the university shall forever be the testimony recognizing the very high level of academic accomplishment that you have attained. I welcome you into the ancient and honorable company of scholars. Congratulations on your special accomplishments.
The candidate for the degree of Specialist in Education will now proceed to the platform to cross and be invested with symbols of the degree. Dr. Kristen Turner, professor in the School of Music, will lead the specialist candidate to the stage.
Ann W. Linson. Assisting with the hooding will be Dr. William Sharp, Professor, Department of Educational Leadership.
We will now present the candidates for master's degrees. Will all master degree candidates please stand? President Gore, I present to you those candidates for master's degrees who have completed all the requirements for their respective degrees.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty that you have completed all the requirements for graduation, and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Ball State University, I confer upon you your respective master's degrees, with all rights, honors, privileges, and obligations thereunto pertaining. The diploma of the university shall forever be the testimony recognizing your completion of the first level of graduate study. Congratulations to each of you. You may be seated.
Dr. James Rubel, Dean of the Honors College, will announce the honors recognitions.
The Honors College provides distinctive educational opportunities for undergraduates of high academic achievement. In addition to their major and minor concentrations, students in the Honors College must complete the Honors Core curriculum, consisting of 6 courses in the liberal arts and sciences and 2 additional honors colloquia that focus on critical analysis of issues in areas of faculty expertise. Each student must also complete a senior capstone thesis or creative project and maintain a cumulative GPA of 3.33 or higher in all coursework. Those baccalaureate candidates who are graduating from the University Honors College are wearing the red and white cords. Will you please stand and be recognized? Thank you. You may be seated. Departmental honors are awarded to those students who graduate with a minimum GPA of 3.5 in their major. They must also complete special work in their major, as well as some form of thesis or creative project. Will the students graduating with departmental honors please rise and be recognized? Thank you. You may be seated. Academic honors in writing are based upon review of a portfolio of course-related writing that demonstrates sustained excellence in writing throughout the student's undergraduate careers. In addition, committee reviews an essay written on a common topic of general interest. Will students with academic honors in writing please rise and be recognized? Thank you. You may be seated. We recognize associate degree students who have achieved a 3.6 or higher grade point average with the designation associate degree with academic distinction. Other students with graduating with this recognition, will they please stand and be recognized? None here. Thank you. Students with outstanding scholastic records graduate with academic honors. These students are wearing bronze, silver, or gold medallions on red ribbons. Students who have achieved scholastic averages between 3.6 and 3.79 are wearing the bronze medallion and graduating cum laude. Will you please rise and be recognized? You may be seated. Those graduates who have earned scholastic averages between 3.8 and 3.89 are wearing the silver medallions and graduating magna cum laude. Will you please rise and be recognized? You may be seated. The highest scholastic honors given by the university go to those students whose scholastic averages are 3.9 or higher. These graduates are wearing the gold medallion and are graduating summa cum laude. Will you please rise and be recognized? Thank you. Congratulations to all of you graduating cum laude, magna cum laude, and summa cum laude for your superior academic achievements.
We have 5 graduating seniors who have achieved special academic distinction today. I ask Mr. DeWeese to come forward and the junior marshals to escort the following students to the platform: Brittany Charmaine Bauer, Megan Diane Gaza, Michael Raymond Gregchik, Alyssa Danielle Miller, and Ryan M. Prendergast.
As president of the Board of Trustees, it gives me great pleasure to recognize these 5 students who have achieved special academic distinction. They have completed their baccalaureate degree programs with a perfect 4.0 grade point average. This is an incredible achievement. As I call your name, will you please come forward to receive your citation recognizing your achievement? Brittany Charmaine Bauer. Brittany Charmaine Bauer from Springfield, Missouri, majored in international business with minors in French and history. Brittany will be attending the University of Denver, pursuing an International Master's of Business Administration degree in the fall. Megan Diane Gaza. Megan Diane Gaza, a native of Carmel, Indiana, has a double major of accounting and Spanish. After graduation, Megan plans to spend a year in East Asia with Campus Crusade for Christ as a short-term international student missionary. Congratulations. Thank you. Michael Raymond Grachik. Michael Raymond Grachik is from Munster, Indiana. He majored in actuarial science and minored in English. His plans after graduation are still undetermined, as he is considering entering the actuarial science job market or attending graduate school. Cold, I can hardly get these out of here. Alyssa Danielle Miller. Alyssa Danielle Miller from Bern, Indiana, majored in elementary education. Her future plans include getting married, moving back to Bern, and seeking a teaching position. Congratulations. Ryan M. Prendergast. Ryan M. Pendergrast from Highland, Indiana, is a theater major who has emphasis in directing and stage management. He plans to pursue professional work as a director and playwright. Best wishes to all of you for your continuing success.
Thank you, Mr. DeWeese. I now invite Lieutenant Colonel Gerald Hadley to the podium for the commissioning of 6 ROTC candidates.
Thank you, Provost King. Would the following cadets please come forward? Kevin G. Burrell, Nicholas C. Buck, Marie C. Emerson, Matthew L. Kindig, Andrew W. Scaros, and Lee S. Yoder. These students have not only completed all the work for their college degrees, but have also completed all the necessary coursework and training to become Army officers. The oath they are about to take is the same oath all Army officers have taken since it was created on June 1st, 1789. Once completed, they will be second lieutenants in the United States Army. If you'd raise your right hand, please. I state your full name.
Lee Samuel Yoder. Andrew W. Scaros. Matthew Lee Kindig.
Marie Christine Emerson.
Nicholas Kane Buck. Kevin Gallen Burrell.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
take this obligation freely
without any mental reservations
without any mental reservations
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion.
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of which I'm about to enter.
of the office I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, lieutenants.
Will all candidates for baccalaureate degrees or associate degrees in the College of Applied Sciences and Technology please rise? Will all candidates for baccalaureate degrees in the College of Architecture and Planning please rise? Will all candidates for baccalaureate degrees or associate degrees in the Miller College of Business please rise? Will all candidates for baccalaureate degrees in the College of Communication, Information, and Media please rise? Will all candidates for baccalaureate degrees in the College of Fine Arts please rise? Will all candidates for baccalaureate degrees or associate degrees in the College of Sciences and Humanities please rise? Will all candidates for baccalaureate degrees in Teachers College please rise? President Gora, I am pleased to present to you those candidates who have completed all the requirements for their respective baccalaureate or associate degrees.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty that you have completed all the requirements for graduation, and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Ball State University, I confer upon you your respective bachelor's or associate degrees with all rights, honors, privileges, and obligations thereunto pertaining. The diploma of the university shall forever be the testimony of your accomplishments. With pleasure, I admit you into the company of educated men and women. Congratulations to each of you. And you may now wear your mortarboard tassels on the left side. Congratulations, and you may be seated. This morning, I want to thank Dr. Ahrendts for her inspiring remarks and for speaking from the heart. One of those Midwestern values that Angela didn't mention is Hoosier humility. While too modest to mention it herself, just this week, Angela and Burberry established a $1 million scholarship fund here at Ball State. With $500,000 from Burberry and the support of the same amount in matching funds from the Ball State Challenge Fund, the program will provide 4 years of financial assistance at $10,000 per year for each of 25 students. The first Burberry Emerging Media Scholars and Bold Celebration Scholars will enter Ball State starting in 2011. Thank you, Angela, for further expanding your legacy of excellence at your alma mater, and for all that you have done for Ball State University and its students over many years. As a Ball State graduate, Angela could have assumed that she had an advantage today in bridging the undeniable generational and cultural gap between any commencement speaker and her audience. Instead, true to form, she innovated. Dr. Ahrendts has used the social networking site Twitter and a web chat from Burberry's London headquarters to engage you, the class of 2010, and to talk about what inspires and motivates her. The benefits of the connections she has made are reflected in her address this morning. From several conversations with the students who have participated, I know that this connection with Angela has left an indelible mark on them. Angela has shown innovative thinking in her leadership at Burberry and in her interaction with our seniors over the last few weeks. And I want to take a moment to add my thoughts on innovation. Today is a day of celebration, but I know that as you graduate, many of you do so with worries about the future. The news is filled with sobering economic forecasts and daunting job prospects. That news is real, but I want to put it into its proper perspective. As Dr. Ahrendts mentioned, she graduated herself in the midst of a recession in 1981. And for those who have made the most of their time here, you are prepared. You, like your predecessors at this university, will make your way through the challenges you face and emerge better and stronger for it. I have found that Ball State students overcome obstacles with a can-do attitude. And one of the hallmarks of an education at this university is an innovative and entrepreneurial approach to solving problems. That approach will serve you well in this economy. In fact, thinking outside the box will continue to pay dividends throughout your working life. As a sociologist, I am well aware of the studies that show that you and others of your generation will change will change careers, not just jobs, but careers, 6 or 7 times in your lifetime. At least one of those careers will be in a profession that probably has not even been imagined yet. I firmly believe that a college education is the best possible preparation for a lifetime of careers, rather than the training for your first job that so many portray it to be. If you keep your entrepreneurial outlook and your quest for innovative solutions intact, you will come to view these junctures in your life as exciting opportunities instead of intimidating pressure points. I know that you will be successful at this because you have embraced the innovative and entrepreneurial approach as students. In many different ways, your class has made Ball State University a better place. Many of you were key to the lively discussions of the book, First They Killed My Father, A Daughter of Cambodia Remembers, in Freshman Connections, and to the unforgettable discussions during the campus visit by author Luang Ong. That tradition has continued right through your participation in more recent visits by thought-provoking experts, including Howard Dean, Meghan McCain, Ted Koppel, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and Thomas Friedman. You were key to the expansion of our popular late-night program, and your accomplishments in and out of the classroom fuel the continuing implementation of our Education Redefined strategic plan and the exciting success of our Ball State Bowl capital campaign. Your innovative successes in completing immersive learning projects around Indiana have increased this university's reputation and improved Hoosiers' lives, and your digital expertise was a major reason we launched Ball State's Emerging Media Initiative. Your creativity and enthusiasm have not been limited to the classroom. They were evident when we welcomed then presidential candidate Barack Obama to campus 2 years ago. They were even more evident when so many of you stood on McKinley Avenue, a road that looks completely different than it did just a year before your arrival as freshmen, to hear David Letterman speak as we dedicated the building in his name in September 2007. You filled the newly renovated Schumann Stadium to capacity week after week the following fall to cheer on your football Cardinals as they completed an undefeated regular season. And you were there to welcome the women's basketball team back to Muncie in March 2009 after the Cardinals not only made it into the NCAA tournament for the first time in history, but also earned an upset victory over 2-time defending national champion Tennessee in the first round of the NCAA. Together, we have watched the transformation of on-campus living through the openings of Park Hall, Doherty Complex, and the completely renovated Pittenger Student Center. We witnessed the tremendous growth in the Honors College and the opening of Ball Honors House. We saw construction begin and progress on Ball State's geothermal project, the largest of its kind in the country. And whether you realize it or not, you have been part of a crucial part of one of the most memorable periods in Ball State history. And as you graduate, you will continue to be very important to this university. Our strategic plan includes many outcome measures to keep Ball State moving boldly into the future. However, for the people you meet, you will be the ultimate outcome measure. Your entrepreneurial spirit and innovative approach will be living proof of the value of a Ball State education. You are well prepared to be that living proof because you have learned from members of our faculty some of the best models of entrepreneurship and innovation that I can imagine. Many observers separate the roles of learners and teachers or students and faculty. And while I value the traditions of commencement, it's also true that this perception of separation is reinforced at events such as this one. Teachers and learners are separated this morning by the order of march, by the academic garb, and by the seating arrangement. But any professor will tell you that when a class is really going well, those separations fade away. The key is that everyone is collaborating in the learning process. Education is truly effective when it is integrated, and I know that you will carry that spirit of collaboration into your life after Ball State. Today, we have gathered to honor your academic achievement and to show our pride in your accomplishments. We have symbolized your new status in the world by learning by granting you degrees. And I now wish to recognize two other groups. Members of the graduating class, I present to you for recognition the faculty who today wear academic regalia in a centuries-old tradition as a symbol of their commitment to teaching and to the search for truth. Your graduation reflects their excellent performance. Will the faculty please stand and please join me in indicating your gratitude. Thank you very much. Please be seated. And there is another very special group of people whom we want to recognize and thank. Members of the graduating class, these individuals have provided you with counsel, friendship, support, and encouragement during your 4 years of study. Your graduation reflects their love and pride in you. Will the parents, spouses, relatives, friends, and sponsors of the graduates please stand and be recognized? Thank you very much. We are very pleased to have all of you here today to share the joy of this occasion with those who are graduating. Graduates, rest assured, those of us on campus are always rooting for your continued success. I look forward to hearing all of the success stories from those I have come to know so well, and I also look forward to sharing with you stories about Ball State's continued success, which will be based on the foundation of innovation and entrepreneurship that you worked so hard to build. On behalf of the university's Alumni Association, I welcome each of you into our alumni ranks, which now number more than 152,000 people. Please stay in touch. Keep us informed about the changes and achievements in your life, and remember that the Alumni Association is always ready and eager to hear from you. Know that you are always welcome here on campus, whether for a visit, a committee meeting, a class reunion, homecoming, an athletic contest, or even to continue your education. I offer each of you my hearty congratulations on your accomplishments here on campus and my sincere best wishes for your future endeavors. Thank you for all that you have done for Ball State University. You are forever Cardinals. Enjoy the rest of this very special day with your friends and family.
I hope you enjoy this time you'll spend today with your family and friends and fellow graduates. And again, congratulations on reaching this special day in your lives. I invite you to attend the college ceremonies, most of which begin 1/2 hour after the main ceremony. The locations are listed in the program. The College of Fine Arts will hold its ceremony at 2 p.m. in Emmons Auditorium, and the College of Applied Sciences and Technology ceremony will be at 3 p.m. in Worthen Arena. As you leave this area and begin moving north on McKinley Avenue, you will hear and see the bells of Schaefer Tower Carillon. While on your way to the college ceremonies, please enjoy the selections on the carillon presented by Dr. Kirby Coriath. Now, please rise and join Jerry Richard Pullman in singing of the Alma Mater. Please remain standing until the colors have passed, and then be seated until the platform party has recessed. And so the 158th commencement ceremony at Ball State University on the Fine Arts Terrace has concluded. Some 14,000 to 15,000 people gathered. 2,600 undergraduate, master's, and doctoral degrees were conferred today. Army ROTC cadets became second lieutenants in the military. A number of students were honored for high academic achievement. It has been a wonderful day. We conferred the honorary Doctor of Laws degree on Angela Ahrendts, and John Schumann received the President's Medal of Distinction. The wind was exhausting at times, but the rain held off, and we have concluded. We hope you enjoyed our program. We know the graduates have a bright future ahead. For all of us at Ball State University, thanks for joining us. I'm Ahrendts.